I confessed my feelings to my friend years ago and got rejected, but now she's confessed her love for me after a toxic relationship, and I'm not sure if I can feel the same way. I, 30M, met my friend Jean, 28F, 3 years ago at a rec soccer league, and I was pretty infatuated with her from the beginning. Another guy in the league, lawyer dude, 30M, also liked her and part of the same group of friends we got together at this league. After over a year our friendships deepened and I honestly fell more in love with her too. I was hesitant about damaging our friendship but came clean and asked her if she wanted to explore something more. She told me she loved me as a friend but not into me like that since she didn't want to get in a relationship at the time. So even though my heart was broken I moved on. Less than 2 months later she starts dating lawyer dude and became clear to me she wasn't necessarily avoiding relationships but just didn't want me lol. I think all my romantic feelings for her ended right that moment since I'm the type of person that wants the same excitement and feelings for a partner that I give to her. No big deal, was honestly happy for her. We were still good friends but I left the league because my professional life picked up since I was promoted to CFO for my company and I just didn't have the time for it. We still joked and texted all the time and Jean and lawyer dude even came out with me, my friends, and sister to party and have some nights out. Jean even became good friends with my sister, which I was happy to see because I'm happy to see my sister surround herself with great people. A few months ago, Jean and lawyer dude broke up, which came as a surprise to everyone because they seemed great together. I'm finding out in the past several weeks from Jean and my sister that lawyer dude was abusive and have been emotionally, psychologically, and even physically abusing her. It picked up in the last few months of their relationship, almost the entire time they were together. She even had pictures of the bruises on her body and everything. I feel terrible for her and she's been spending more time with us and I think she's well on the path to recovery. She should probably see a therapist or something to confirm that. Last weekend, we were drinking some wine in my kitchen goofing around. She's teasing me about the last few girlfriends I've showed her and even doing an impression of some. We're in New York City and dating and people can just be weird here lol. I was pretty tipsy and my kitchen is tiny, Manhattan apartment, and I'm pretty sure she initiated a kiss. We kissed for maybe 7 to 10 seconds before I put a stop to it and try to diffuse the situation joking about how strong the wine is. She agrees, laughs about it, and goes home. Early the next morning she's at my doorstep and wants to talk. She said she's in love with me and we can start what we should have started when I confessed to her years ago. I told her I love her as a friend but I don't see her romantically like that and it wouldn't be a good idea. She seemed incredibly hurt and asked if it's because I rejected her and I told her it wasn't but I don't think she believed me. To be honest, it probably is the reason. As I mentioned earlier, unless someone is as golden lab excited about me as I'm into them, I lose interest in them romantically. I probably have issues but that's just how I am. But in no way am I trying to purposely punish her. Now even my sister is texting me and giving me a hard time because she sees it as her friend who was manipulated into a relationship when she wasn't ready for it by a narcissist and then abused. She's accusing me of being vengeful and petty with someone who's my soulmate because she got manipulated into a relationship and chose someone else over me. My sister has also dated some big jerks in the past so I think she's just seeing it from Jean's perspective, which I don't fault her for. I reached out to Jean to see if she's okay but she said she needs time and it's possible we should never see each other again. I think this is super hypocritical since I continued to be a good friend when she rejected me. I don't know what to do here. I truly do love her platonically. Should I try to explore if there's romantic potential here? I'm about to lose a friend and also potentially ruin my close relationship with my sister. First update, 2 weeks later, had some people messaging me asking for an update that I've mostly ignored but I wanted to provide an update today. I had brunch with my sister the day after the first thread went up. I actually showed her the thread and she spent half of our meal reading through it. She actually agreed it's not her place to butt in and apologized about making the situation more difficult for me. She said she's gonna be on my side and I can count on her going forward. She also actually agreed with a lot of the posts that I should probably take a clean break or at the very least some serious distance between Jean and myself. So that's what I've been doing, until last night. Went to a party in Brooklyn last night for a friend's birthday and took an Uber back home to Lower Manhattan. Around midnight my front desk calls asking if they should let a Jean up. I'm confused and say yes. She comes up and she's looking much happier and healthier than I've seen her in months. She hugs me and said she misses me and if we can just talk and hang out. Said she saw me in the party earlier that night on Instagram and our mutual friend that was there said I left early so she came over. I've been drinking so I guess it's less awkward so we just start talking like old times about what we've been up to the last week and everything crazy that's going on in the world over some beers. We're in my godforsaken tiny kitchen again and she kisses me. I don't stop her this time and she ended up spending the night. Waking up this morning, I didn't and still don't know what to think. Left while she was still sleeping to pick up some coffee. When I'm back I hear the shower so I sit on the bed and wait for her with the coffee. When she got out she realized I wanted to talk about last night so she asked if she could talk first. She said she knows I'm confused, knows how it feels like I'm her backup, knows how it feels like I'm the rebound, but none of that is true and she loves me and wants to do whatever necessary to prove it and make it work. I told her I'm feeling confused about the situation and don't feel the same type of love for her that she thinks she feels for me. She started crying and asking if she can do anything to prove it to me, so I told her I think it's best if we take some time apart to do our own thing and let all these high emotions settle down. And if necessary we can pick up this discussion with a cooler heads and maybe even become friends again. She cried some more and agreed. Left a few hours ago and I'm still feeling kind of shell-shocked over the whole thing and have been just pacing around my apartment. I think I made the right decision about taking a clean break for now. Anyways, I appreciate all the great advice last time so thanks you guys. Final update, 1 month later, Had some time and a lot has happened unfortunately, so I figured I'd provide an update since you guys provided some good advice I didn't recognize as such last time. I went straight no contact after Jean went home after our night together. Only contact we had was via text when she asked 2 days later if she could come over so we can talk, and I told her I didn't think that was a good idea and I thought it was best we spent time apart for the foreseeable future. Got a few more texts saying she understood, then how good we'd be together, and then finally how I'm making a mistake. I ignored all of it until it stopped a week into it. At this point I sadly accepted the reality that we probably could never be friends and was fine with it. We both move on and hopefully find happiness somewhere else. I mentioned before I'm the CFO for my company. For the last year we've been finalizing closing a deal with another major company, and obviously because of all these global macro events it's made things a lot more complicated. I have incredibly strong feelings for the legal counsel, LC, for this company I've been working with. She's drop dead gorgeous, smart as a whip, and an insanely tough and strong-willed woman. I tried once several months ago to ask her out, but she saw my attempt from a mile away and rightfully let me know it was hugely inappropriate for us to start a relationship because of the deal we were working with. I agreed, and although I've dated plenty the last year I've been pining after her this entire time. 2 weeks ago the deal was officially finalized. I'm not kidding when I say this, literally less than 60 seconds after the deal was announced I asked her out and thank goodness she accepted. The date was incredible. She told me how difficult it's been the last several months working so closely with me when we had such strong feelings for each other. Just like how so many of my friends know about her, she's also told her friends about me. Spent the entire evening talking about how excited we finally are, and then she came home with me. Now I have no idea how, but Jean found out. She messaged her 2 days later on LinkedIn asking to talk. Legal counsel thought Jean was an annoying recruiter or saleswoman at first, and then Jean mentioned she knows about us seeing each other. Jean told legal counsel that she and I were in a complicated and bumpy phase in our relationship. When legal counsel didn't respond, Jean mentioned how I manipulate and use women. How I'm a serial dater and only chase women, and if a girl has feelings I hurt them instead. Legal counsel was freaked out about this. The next day she asked me for coffee and showed me all of this. Said she likes me but she really doesn't want to get involved in any drama, maybe we shouldn't see each other. I had to beg her to give me a chance. I told her our entire history, and thank God I actually wrote it down in the previous post, so I showed those to her too. She agreed to give us a chance, but I can see she's shaken up with all of this. I'm infuriated. I honestly don't know what to do. I've never been a vengeful and hurtful person, but I'm really tempted to call Jean and say some incredibly hurtful things to her. Legal counsel and I have blocked her in all mediums of communication. I made my sister do the same, who's also freaked out by how Jean is behaving. This is probably and hopefully the final update. I'm kind of upset that so many of you told me how manipulative and potentially dangerous Jean was and I completely ignored it. I've learned my lesson now though, and will act accordingly if I have to interact with Jean again. I honestly think going through an abusive relationship taught her some incredibly toxic things. I'm angry with her, but I know in my heart she wasn't always like this.